Good morning, everyone. Life has a way of placing us in situations where we encounter pain and hurt from others. Sometimes the people who hurt us seem to go unchecked and we wonder if justice will ever be served. But trust that the universe is always in motion and there are signs that God is at work, especially when it comes to those who have wronged you. Let us explore these signs with clarity and grace. Embracing your pain is one of the most powerful and transformative things you can do for yourself. When we experience hurt, whether it's from a betrayal, a loss, or any other form of emotional or physical wound, it can feel as though the pain will consume us. The instinct is often to run from it, hide from it, or bury it deep within ourselves. But this avoidance doesn't help. In fact, it only prolongs the suffering. True healing begins when we allow ourselves to feel the pain fully, to acknowledge it without judgment, and to understand that it is a part of our experience but not the whole of it. Pain in and of itself is not the problem. The real challenge comes when we allow that pain to define us. When we hold on to it, making it our identity, we start to believe that we are nothing more than the sum of our hurt. This is where many people get stuck. They may carry the weight of their pain around for years, thinking that it's something they have to drag behind them, as though it is an indelible part of who they are. But the truth is that pain, while it may shape certain aspects of our journey, does not have to control or define the entirety of it. There is immense strength in recognizing that pain is temporary. It's a part of the human condition, something that everyone experiences in one form or another. The key is not to get lost in it, but rather to see it for what it is, a momentary feeling that will pass like a storm that eventually clears. If you refuse to let the storm define your landscape, it will lose its power over time. Allow yourself to feel the pain fully, but remind yourself that this feeling does not define your worth, your potential, or your future. Sometimes the most difficult part of embracing your pain is acknowledging that it exists. We can often convince ourselves that we should be strong or over it by now, dismissing the validity of our emotions in the process. But being strong doesn't mean suppressing our feelings. It means facing them head on, even when it's uncomfortable. When we allow ourselves to truly feel what we're going through without minimizing or ignoring it, we create space for healing. The more we acknowledge the pain, the less control it has over us. Moreover, embracing your pain means giving yourself permission to be vulnerable. Vulnerability can be terrifying, especially when we've been hurt before, but it's also the path to true freedom. It allows us to release the hold that pain has on us, and it opens the door to deeper understanding and growth. It's in this space of vulnerability that we find our resilience. Pain does not make us weak. It reveals the depth of our strength. And in this raw, open state, we discover just how capable we are of healing and moving forward. Pain may be a part of our lives, but it doesn't have to be the defining characteristic of our existence. Our identity is not built solely upon the hurt we have experienced, but on how we choose to rise from it. We are not the sum of our wounds. We are the sum of how we respond to those wounds. When we choose to embrace our pain without letting it consume us, we make space for healing, for transformation, and for a deeper understanding of ourselves. In the process, we grow stronger, more resilient, and more aware of our ability to navigate life's challenges with grace. The desire for revenge is a powerful force, one that can cloud our judgment and consume our hearts. When we are hurt, wronged, or betrayed, the initial reaction is often a deep burning need to make the other person feel the same pain we've felt. This desire for justice can be overwhelming, tempting us to seek retaliation in ways that we believe will balance the scales. It feels like a natural response. After all, when someone wrongs us, shouldn't they be made to pay for it? Shouldn't they face the consequences of their actions? But while the impulse to seek revenge is entirely human, it often brings more harm than good. Revenge at its core is rooted in the belief that the other person's actions have the power to define our peace and happiness. We mistakenly think that by making them feel our pain, we can somehow regain control over the situation or restore a sense of balance. But in reality, revenge doesn't heal wounds, it deepens them. When we focus on revenge, we shift our energy away from healing and personal growth, and we direct it instead towards perpetuating the cycle of pain. We allow the wrongdoer to continue to control our thoughts, emotions, and actions, which keeps us trapped in a state of bitterness and anger. The need for revenge often arises from a sense of injustice, from the feeling that things aren't fair, that the person who hurt us deserves to suffer in some way. But here's the truth. Vengeance doesn't bring true justice. While it may offer a temporary sense of satisfaction or relief, it leaves a residue of bitterness that can linger long after the act of retaliation is over. It's easy to believe that hurting the person who hurt you will bring closure, but that closure is only an illusion. What actually brings peace is letting go of the need to get even, of releasing the grip that the desire for revenge has on your heart. When we let go of the need for revenge, we take back our power. Revenge is a reaction that puts us in a passive position, as if we are waiting for something outside of ourselves to change in order for us to feel better. But when we choose not to engage in retaliation, we reclaim control over our own lives and emotions. We no longer allow the other person's actions to dictate how we feel or how we respond. Instead, we choose to rise above the situation, to move beyond the pain, and to create peace within ourselves. Letting go of revenge also frees us from the weight of anger. Holding on to anger is like carrying a heavy burden. It takes up space in our hearts and minds, draining us of the energy we could be using to move forward. When we keep feeding the desire for revenge, we continue to nourish the anger inside us, and it becomes a part of our identity. But by letting go of that need, we free ourselves from that burden, allowing our hearts to heal and our minds to find clarity. Another reason to let go of revenge is the realization that we are all human and we all make mistakes. The person who hurt you may have acted out of their own pain, fear, or ignorance. Their actions may have been driven by unresolved issues or past trauma. While this doesn't excuse what they did, it offers a different perspective. Understanding that they too are struggling with their own demons can help shift your focus from revenge to compassion. This doesn't mean you have to forgive them immediately or pretend that everything is okay, but it does allow you to see them as a fellow human being rather than just an enemy. When you release the need for revenge, you also release the need to be right or to prove a point. You let go of the desire to make them pay for their mistakes, and instead you allow space for healing and growth for both you and them. Finally, letting go of revenge is an act of self-care. It's about choosing your peace over your pride, your healing over your hurt. Revenge can keep you stuck in the past, but moving forward, focusing on your own growth and cultivating peace within yourself allows you to heal. It's a choice to stop allowing your pain to define your actions and to take back control of your emotional well-being. When you stop seeking revenge, you open yourself up to the possibility of something greater, of moving beyond the hurt, of finding forgiveness in your heart, and of experiencing the peace that comes with letting go. Trusting in the timing of life is one of the most challenging yet liberating aspects of personal growth. In a world that moves at such a rapid pace, we often find ourselves caught in a whirlwind of expectations, deadlines, and goals. We look at others around us and compare our progress to theirs, wondering why things aren't happening as quickly or as smoothly for us. It's natural to want everything to fall into place right away, to believe that success, happiness, or fulfillment should come in a neatly packaged time frame. But the reality is that life doesn't operate according to our personal schedules. The timing of events, opportunities, and personal growth is not something we can control or rush. It unfolds at its own pace, guided by forces beyond our immediate understanding. Trusting the timing of life means surrendering the need to force things to happen. It means accepting that there are things in life that we cannot predict or control, no matter how much we plan or prepare. When we trust in the timing of life, we learn to let go of our need for immediate results, and instead, we embrace the journey itself. It's a recognition that everything, from the smallest moments to the grandest events, happens in its own perfect time. We may not always understand why something is happening when it does, but we can choose to have faith that it's happening as it should. It's easy to feel discouraged or frustrated when things don't go according to our own timetable. We see others achieving their goals, advancing in their careers, or finding love, while we seem to be stuck in place. In these moments, we may question what we're doing wrong or why life is not moving forward for us, but it's important to remember that each person's path is unique. Just because someone else is moving faster doesn't mean that your journey is any less valuable or meaningful. Trusting the timing of life means understanding that there is no perfect moment and that timing isn't always linear. Some things happen quickly while others unfold slowly. Each phase of life offers its own lessons, growth, and opportunities. The pace may not always match your desires, but it is always moving in the direction of your personal development. One of the most powerful aspects of trusting life's timing is the understanding that not everything happens when we think it should. Some opportunities come when we least expect them, often at times when we feel the most uncertain or unprepared. But in those moments of uncertainty, if we allow ourselves to trust the timing, we often find that we are exactly where we need to be. The universe, or whatever higher force you believe in, has a way of aligning things in a way that we can't always see in the moment. This alignment doesn't always make sense right away, but over time the pieces begin to fall into place, and we realize that everything happened exactly when it needed to. The delays, the setbacks, and the pauses were all part of the process. Trusting in the timing of life also means embracing patience. In a culture that prioritizes instant gratification, patience can feel like an outdated virtue. We want things to happen now and we want them to happen our way. But true growth often requires waiting, not in a passive, stagnant way, but in an active, trusting way. Waiting doesn't mean doing nothing. It means taking the necessary steps forward even when we don't yet see the full picture. It means continuing to put in the work, nurturing the seeds we've planted, and trusting that they will grow when the time is right. Patience is the art of staying present even when things are not moving as quickly as we want. It's a practice of trust, a belief that what is meant for us will come at the right moment, and that everything we experience along the way contributes to our overall growth. There is also a deep wisdom in recognizing that life's timing is often out of our control. We cannot force the universe to give us what we want when we want it. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, things don't go as planned, but in those moments we are given an opportunity to learn how to trust, not just in the process, but in ourselves. Trusting life's timing is about surrendering the need to control every outcome and instead allowing life to unfold in its own natural rhythm. It's about letting go of the pressure we place on ourselves to get it right and allowing ourselves the grace to experience life as it comes. When we trust the timing of life, we also develop a deeper sense of peace. We stop rushing through life, trying to reach the next milestone or achieve the next goal. Instead, we begin to appreciate each moment as it is, knowing that life is happening exactly as it should. The struggle and resistance we feel when things aren't moving as quickly as we want is a reflection of our attachment to a certain outcome. When we release that attachment and trust in the unfolding process, we begin to feel lighter, more at ease, and more in tune with the natural flow of life. Life doesn't need to be a race. It's a journey to be experienced fully, with all of its ups and downs, twists and turns. Trusting in the timing of life also means recognizing that timing is often a matter of readiness. We may want things to happen now, but we might not be prepared for them emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. Just because we desire something doesn't mean we are ready to receive it. The right timing is often about becoming the person who is ready to meet the opportunities that come our way. It's about growth and preparation, not just external circumstances. And sometimes the best thing we can do is wait, not because we are doing nothing, but because we are becoming more of who we need to be in order to fully embrace what is coming next. Ultimately, trusting the timing of life is about letting go of the pressure we place on ourselves and embracing the natural unfolding of our journey. It is about accepting that everything will come at the right time and that every experience, every delay, and every detour is part of the greater plan. Living with integrity is one of the most profound ways to live authentically and honorably. It's about aligning your actions with your values, being truthful to yourself and others, and acting with honesty even when it might be difficult or inconvenient. Integrity is not something that can be faked or pretended. It's a deep-rooted quality that reflects who you truly are when no one is watching. To live with integrity means being consistent in both thought and action, allowing your inner beliefs to guide every decision you make. It's not just about doing the right thing when people are looking, it's about doing the right thing because it is who you are at the core. At its heart, integrity is about authenticity. It's about being true to your word and your commitments, standing by your principles even when it feels easier to go with the flow or compromise your values. People with integrity don't just talk about their values, they live them. They are transparent in their intentions and decisions, and they make choices based on their deepest beliefs, even if it's not the most popular or easy path to take. In a world where appearances and external validation often take precedence, living with integrity means remaining grounded in your own truth, regardless of external pressures or expectations. It's the commitment to always doing the right thing, even when there's no one there to applaud you. Living with integrity requires a certain level of self-awareness. You must know what you stand for and what matters to you. This often requires deep reflection and an ongoing process of self-discovery. It's easy to fall into the trap of doing what everyone else is doing or adopting values that are not truly your own, simply because they are more widely accepted. But when you live with integrity, you take the time to understand yourself, your beliefs, and your purpose. You don't allow society or external influences to dictate your actions. Instead, you make choices that align with your authentic self, even if those choices are harder or less understood by others. One of the most important aspects of integrity is honesty. Honesty with yourself, first and foremost, and then with others. Living with integrity means speaking the truth, not just when it's comfortable or convenient, but especially when it's difficult. It's easy to tell a lie or to cover up the truth when it feels like the right thing to do in the moment. But dishonesty always carries a cost. It erodes trust, creates internal conflict, and ultimately undermines the very foundation of who you are. When you are honest, you not only build trust with others, but you also cultivate an inner peace, knowing that you are living in alignment with your deepest values. When you live with integrity, you are also committed to accountability. Integrity is not about being perfect, it's about owning up to your mistakes and learning from them. Everyone makes mistakes, but those who live with integrity take responsibility for their actions rather than shifting blame or avoiding accountability. When you do something wrong, you own it, apologize when necessary, and make amends. This kind of accountability builds trust and respect both within yourself and in your relationships with others. It shows that you are committed to growth and self-improvement, and it reinforces the authenticity of your character. Living with integrity also means having the courage to do what is right, even in the face of fear or adversity. Often doing the right thing is not the easiest or most comfortable option. It may require standing up to authority, challenging the status quo, or making personal sacrifices. But those who live with integrity are willing to face these challenges because they understand that their moral compass is more important than immediate comfort or personal gain. The courage to act with integrity requires strength of character, the ability to hold fast to your values even when there are external pressures to compromise. One of the more challenging aspects of living with integrity is maintaining it over time, especially when life gets complicated or when you're faced with difficult choices. It's easy to act with integrity when everything is going smoothly, but when you're faced with temptation, stress, or a difficult situation, it becomes much harder. This is where true integrity is tested. The ability to stay true to yourself, your values, and your commitments during times of difficulty is what separates those who are truly living with integrity from those who falter. It's about knowing that even when the world around you is chaotic or unclear, you can still rely on your own inner compass to guide you. Another important aspect of integrity is consistency. It's easy to be honest or make ethical choices once in a while, but living with integrity means showing up every day, consistently doing the right thing even when no one is looking. It means being the same person in every situation, whether at work, at home, or with friends. Because your integrity is not situational, it doesn't fluctuate based on your environment or who you are, and it doesn't change based on circumstances. Living with integrity also requires a commitment to fairness and justice. People who live with integrity treat others with respect and fairness, regardless of their status, wealth, or background. They make decisions that are just and equitable, and they stand up for others when they see injustice. Integrity involves not just personal moral uprightness, but also responsibility to the greater good. It's about understanding that your actions affect others and making decisions that promote a sense of fairness, equality, and compassion. Finally, living with integrity is deeply connected to a sense of peace and fulfillment. When you act in accordance with your values and beliefs, there is an inherent satisfaction that comes from knowing that you are living in alignment with your highest self. This inner peace is not something that can be easily disrupted by external factors, because it is grounded in a deep, unshakable sense of truth. Even when the world around you is uncertain or chaotic, living with integrity provides a steady anchor, allowing you to navigate life with confidence and purpose. It gives you the strength to face challenges, the clarity to make difficult decisions, and the courage to continue on your path, knowing that you are doing the right thing. Seeing everything as a lesson is one of the most transformative perspectives you can adopt in life. It requires a shift in mindset, a conscious decision to view every experience, whether positive or negative, as an opportunity for growth. This way of thinking doesn't come naturally to everyone because, at times, it's much easier to see challenges, setbacks, and disappointments as obstacles rather than as valuable teaching moments. Yet, the truth is that life, with all its ups and downs, is full of lessons waiting to be learned. When we embrace this perspective, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities for personal development and understanding. The first step in seeing everything as a lesson is recognizing that every experience we have, whether joyful or painful, carries meaning. It's not always immediately clear what that meaning is, but it's there. Every success, failure, and encounter offers us the chance to learn something new about ourselves and the world around us. When we are faced with a challenge, instead of feeling defeated or frustrated, we can ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? What does this situation have to teach me? This shift in focus allows us to move beyond our immediate emotions and see the broader picture. Rather than becoming trapped in the negative feelings that arise when things don't go as planned, we begin to view difficulties as stepping stones along our journey. One of the most profound lessons we can learn is that failure is not something to fear or avoid. It is an essential part of success and personal growth. Many people view failure as a setback or a sign of inadequacy, but when you see everything as a lesson, failure becomes an invaluable teacher. It shows us where we need to improve, what we need to change, and how we can do better next time. Failures provide feedback that success simply cannot. If we can embrace failure as a lesson in disguise, we can use it as motivation to keep going, knowing that it's not the end of the road, but rather a part of the process. The greatest minds and most successful people in history didn't achieve greatness without encountering failure. They used it as a stepping stone to greater achievements. Along with failure, challenges offer us an opportunity to develop resilience. When life presents difficulties, it's easy to feel discouraged or want to give up. But seeing challenges as lessons teaches us that these obstacles are opportunities for us to build inner strength. The more we face challenges and persevere through them, the more we develop the ability to cope with adversity. Every difficult moment is a lesson in how to handle pressure, maintain focus, and stay grounded. Instead of letting challenges break us down, we can choose to let them shape us into stronger, more capable individuals. Moreover, seeing everything as a lesson helps us to develop a deeper sense of gratitude. It's easy to be grateful for the good things in life, the moments of happiness, success, and fulfillment. But when we begin to see the lessons in every experience, even the difficult ones, our sense of gratitude expands. We start to appreciate not only the things that go well, but also the struggles that teach us valuable lessons about patience, perseverance, and humility. When we start to see challenges as opportunities for learning, we recognize that everything, both the positive and negative experiences, is a gift that contributes to our personal evolution. This perspective also deepens our empathy for others. When we view our own struggles as lessons, we begin to understand that others are also going through their own personal lessons. It encourages a sense of compassion as we recognize that everyone is on a journey of growth, learning, and self-discovery. Instead of judging others for their mistakes or hardships, we can offer support, understanding, and encouragement, knowing that we all face our own lessons in life. This empathy strengthens our relationships and helps us create deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Another important aspect of seeing everything as a lesson is that it encourages us to be present. When we are fully engaged in the moment, without constantly worrying about the future or regretting the past, we are more likely to notice the lessons that are being presented to us. Life is constantly teaching us, but if we are distracted or disconnected, we may miss those lessons. By being present and mindful, we open ourselves up to the teachings that exist in every moment. Whether it's a conversation with a friend, a work project, or a moment of silence, each experience has something to offer us. When we practice mindfulness, we become more aware of the lessons that life is offering, and we can learn from them in real time. Additionally, when we see everything as a lesson, we develop a greater sense of curiosity. Instead of being resistant to new experiences, we approach life with an open mind, ready to learn from whatever comes our way. Curiosity allows us to explore different perspectives, try new things, and embrace uncertainty. Life becomes less about having all the answers and more about asking the right questions. With this mindset, we can approach every situation as a chance to discover something new, whether it's about the world, other people, or ourselves. It encourages us to view challenges as opportunities to expand our understanding and grow beyond our current limitations. The practice of seeing everything as a lesson also requires us to cultivate patience. Not all lessons are immediate, and not all answers come right away. Sometimes we must sit with uncertainty, wait for clarity, and trust that the lessons will reveal themselves in time. This requires a deep sense of patience as we learn to trust the process of life even when it's not moving at the speed we want. Trusting that everything happens for a reason, even when we don't understand it in the moment, helps us remain calm and collected as we navigate through life's ups and downs. Patience allows us to approach life with a sense of peace, knowing that the lessons we need will come at the right time. Ultimately, seeing everything as a lesson empowers us to take responsibility for our lives. It shifts the focus from external circumstances to our own personal growth and development. Instead of feeling like victims of life's events, we take ownership of how we respond to them. Life is not something that happens to us, it is something that we experience, learn from, and grow through. When we choose to view everything as a lesson, we take control of our narrative and embrace the opportunity to evolve with each experience. In every moment, there is the potential for growth. Whether we're experiencing joy, pain, success, or failure, life is constantly offering us lessons that can help us become better versions of ourselves. The key is to remain open, receptive, and willing to learn from whatever comes our way. By shifting our perspective and seeing everything as a lesson, we unlock the full potential of our lives and turn every experience into an opportunity for growth and transformation. Letting love and compassion guide you is one of the most profound ways to navigate life. In a world often filled with conflict, division, and misunderstanding, choosing to live with love and compassion as your guiding forces has the power to not only transform your life, but also the lives of those around you. Love and compassion are not just fleeting feelings, they are deep, conscious choices we make every day. When we allow these principles to guide us, we cultivate an environment of peace, understanding, and kindness, creating a ripple effect that can bring healing and connection to even the most challenging situations. Love is often seen as a simple emotion, but it's much deeper than that. True love is a force that transcends superficial differences and binds us all together. It's about seeing beyond the flaws and imperfections of others and recognizing the shared humanity in each person. When we let love guide us, we approach every interaction, no matter how small, with openness and acceptance. Love calls us to understand others, to listen deeply, and to show kindness even when it's not easy or convenient. It asks us to look at the world through a lens of care and concern, not only for those we know well, but also for strangers and even those with whom we may have disagreements. Compassion is the natural extension of love. While love is the deep emotional connection we feel toward others, compassion is the active expression of that love. It is the desire to alleviate the suffering of others, to offer a hand when someone is in need, and to show empathy when someone is going through difficult times. Compassion goes beyond mere sympathy. It involves taking action, offering support, and standing with others through their pain and challenges. It's about understanding that suffering is a shared experience, and when we recognize this, we are motivated to help, to lift others up, and to contribute to their well-being in meaningful ways. When we allow love and compassion to guide us, we begin to see the world through a different lens. We move away from a mindset of competition and scarcity, where we feel the need to protect our own interests at the expense of others. Instead, we embrace a mindset of abundance and interconnectedness, understanding that when one person thrives, we all thrive. Love and compassion teach us that we are all in this together, and that our well-being is intimately connected to the well-being of others. This realization allows us to approach life with more generosity, openness, and kindness. Living with love and compassion also requires patience. We must recognize that others, like ourselves, are not perfect. They have their struggles, their weaknesses, and their own pain. Sometimes love and compassion ask us to extend grace to others, even when it's difficult or when their actions have hurt us. It is easy to love when people are kind and understanding, but true compassion is shown when someone has wronged us or when they are acting out of their own pain. Patience allows us to sit with the discomfort of others' flaws and reactions without rushing to judgment. It invites us to respond with empathy instead of anger, to seek understanding instead of retribution. Another vital component of letting love and compassion guide us is forgiveness. Holding on to resentment, anger, or hurt only serves to weigh us down and prevent us from truly living in alignment with love. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning the actions that have hurt us, but it does mean letting go of the grip that these negative emotions have on our hearts. It is a process of releasing the past and making room for healing. When we forgive, we free ourselves from the burdens of anger and resentment, creating space for compassion and understanding to flourish. Forgiveness, when practiced regularly, becomes a way of life, a way to navigate the world without being constantly weighed down by the pain and hurt of past experiences. Letting love and compassion guide you also involves being kind to yourself. So often we are quick to show love and compassion to others, but we forget to extend the same kindness to ourselves. We are our own harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossible standards and beating ourselves up for every mistake or shortcoming. But love and compassion invite us to treat ourselves with the same gentleness and understanding that we would offer to a loved one. When we are compassionate toward ourselves, we are better able to give that same love and compassion to others. Self-compassion is not about indulgence or excusing our mistakes, but rather about recognizing our own humanity and extending grace in the same way we would to others. Living with love and compassion also encourages us to be more present. When we approach life with love, we become more attuned to the needs and emotions of others. We listen more deeply, respond more thoughtfully, and engage with a greater sense of care and concern. This presence is what makes love and compassion so powerful. It allows us to truly see others for who they are, without judgment or expectation. It helps us to connect on a deeper level, creating bonds that are meaningful and lasting. Being present with others also means being fully engaged in the moment, not distracted by our own thoughts or concerns. It's about showing up for others in a way that affirms their value and importance. One of the most beautiful aspects of allowing love and compassion to guide us is that it creates an energy of positivity and healing. When we approach the world with love, we attract more of it. People are drawn to kindness, empathy, and understanding. These energies are contagious, and as we give love and compassion, we inspire others to do the same. It creates a cycle of goodwill and understanding that spreads beyond ourselves, touching the lives of everyone we encounter. This ripple effect has the power to transform communities, societies, and even entire cultures. Love and compassion are not just personal qualities, they are collective forces that can heal the world. Finally, love and compassion encourage us to live with purpose. When we let these principles guide us, we live with intention, making choices that are aligned with our values and our desire to contribute to the well-being of others. Every action we take, whether big or small, becomes an expression of our commitment to love and care. This sense of purpose gives our lives meaning, direction, and fulfillment. It helps us focus on what truly matters and reminds us that the greatest gift we can give is not material wealth or success, but love, kindness, and a deep commitment to the well-being of others. In every moment we have a choice. We can choose love over fear, compassion over judgment, and kindness over indifference. When we make these choices consistently, we transform ourselves and the world around us. By letting love and compassion guide us, we create a life filled with deeper connections, greater peace, and more profound meaning.